Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you are able to hear my video, like watch my video properly and the audio as well, do let me know in the live chat so that I'm able to understand that everything is working fine. It's great to see you guys all back again with me live to study, of course. Okay, so let's get started, guys. We'll wait for 5 more minutes so that everyone can join us, and then we'll get started. I put up the live chat as well today so that I'm able to look at it from time to time. Uh, and from today, what I'm going to do is from today, whatever doubts you are going to have, put it up in the comment section of the video itself, and I personally will handle all the doubts from today. Yesterday there were a lot of different problems that were occurring on, so that's why I was not able to handle the entire comment section. From today, from this particular video, if you are having any doubt, any genuine doubt from the video itself, please do put it up on the comment section and I will personally handle all the doubts. Okay, it's good to see you all back again. I'm very thrilled that everyone is working fine, and I hope that you're fine as well, you and your family at home. This corona is something that really is a bummer to everyone, but no matter what, stay safe at home and keep on wearing your masks whenever going out. It's really important. Thank you so much for the t-shirt as well. So Hogwarts fan. Okay, that's great. So we'll get started in 2 minutes. The same notebook that we are going to use from yesterday itself, we'll be covering the little bit of all the we are left with strings and boolean, I guess. So we'll be covering that today, and we'll get started with the different data structures as well in Python, like the famous data structures that you'll be using like at any point of time, whether you will be see, Python is a language that you can use for going into cybersecurity. You can use it to go into blockchain, you can use it to go into big data, you can use it to go into machine learning, you can use it to go to web development. Every single thing, whether it be networking to like making different products, software products, you can use Python at every single place. So these data structures are basically the coding blocks, like the building blocks upon which everything is actually built. All these different resources are being built. So this is something that is very important for you. Today's session will literally make your foundations for anything that you're going to do in the future. Whether you choose to continue with Shape API or anywhere else learning some different technology, you will always need this. Okay, so that is something that I wanted to convey to you guys. Okay, you do not need to complete the notebook or anything that I've just provided to you. It has a lot of different stuffs listed down in it as a notes, so that you can refer to it at a future point of time as well. Okay. Yeah, am I audible to everyone? Am I right? Like there is no issue with anyone right over here. Like the audio and the video are absolutely fine. Am I right? Nasifa, okay, amount tax on the salary. Okay, Nasifa, don't worry about it. Okay, just send me the doubt on WhatsApp. I don't know why you are having this particular doubt. It's basic mathematics itself. Like it's not even. Okay, your screen is not clear. Even my video quality in 720p. Is that a problem with everyone? Just let me check from my end. So do one thing. If you guys are having problem watching my screen, most probably you do not have a good mobile phone. Shift it to laptop itself, then you'll be able to watch my screen absolutely crystal clear. I don't know why, because in my phone I'm able to see the screen very properly. In my laptop as well, I'm just opened it up, as well as my tablet, like everything is proper. So that is the entire thing. Yeah, everything is fine. So everyone is able to like listen to me and watch the entire video as well. So I don't think so it's from my end. Please look into it if someone is not able to understand that. Okay, so let's get started with it. Rajesh, I think so it is your fault, because everyone is able to clear, like it's clear with every single one. So there is some problem from your end itself. Okay, so let's get started right away. Okay, so again, the link to the notebook is again in the description of today's video. So I will just mute my screen so that you guys don't get a blast of audio from my end. Okay, when you scroll down right away, you will be able to see that the link to the notebook is right over here. Okay, I will just zoom. So when you are opening this particular video that you are currently watching, you'll be able to see that the link to the notebook is right over here. Okay, and that is what you need to open up. So when you click on this particular link, it will take you the same notebook that we used yesterday as well. The same notebook. There's nothing different. We will be using the same notebook today as well. So to open up this particular notebook, what you have to do is follow the exact same procedure which I had told you yesterday as well. So that is extremely simple. Just go to a new page. Okay, search for COLAB, collab. Okay, we'll search for collab. It will open up Google. There will the first link, Google collab. The link is collab.research.google.com. That is the link that you have to go to. When you click on that particular link, it will take you to collab by Google. Once it's still opening for me, so just give me a second. Once it has opened up, there will be multiple options that will be available on your screen. So examples, recent, Google Drive, GitHub, and upload. You have to select GitHub from all these options. Once you have selected GitHub, the link that you have opened up from the description of this particular video, copy the link, go to the link, copy it. Okay, just copy the particular link and then paste that particular link right over here in this GitHub. So you have to select GitHub from right over here, click on this particular field, okay, text field. You have to right click on it and then paste. Once you have pasted that particular link, click on search, this search icon on the right hand side of the URL. Once you have clicked that, it will take you to that particular notebook in your own Google Colab repository. Okay, so this is something that I have explained it yesterday as well. So I just fast forward through the entire process because the same thing, I don't want to waste your time. Okay, then once it has opened up, on the right hand side you will be able to see a button called as connect. Okay, you just have to connect, click on that particular button. It will allocate itself, it will connect itself, and then initialize your entire environment in Google's servers. Okay, so that is the entire process. So you just have to wait for initialization, and when it is done, you will be able to see right over here that it's done. So it's showing connected. So now you are connected to Google Colab server. Okay, now yesterday I think so we had completed up till the point, let me just see, yesterday we closed the entire session pretty early. Okay, I don't know why my Siri just started working off. Okay, so I think so we are right over here at Boolean data type comparison and logical operators. If that is correct, please let me know. Hello everyone, if that is correct, please let me know in the description, like in the live chat itself, and then we'll get started. I hope that yesterday we had completed up till Boolean data type comparison and logical operators. Yeah, so that's great. So let's get started with it. Okay. Okay, so this is very important topic, guys. This is the second last that we are going to see, and data type that we are going to see today. Okay, after this we will be having like strings, and that will be it for data types. We previously have seen data types like float, we have seen data types like int. So this is our third data type, that is Boolean. Okay, so bool is another data type that is commonly used in Python. Bool is short form for Boolean, just like int is the short form for integer, float is the short form for floating point number, then bool is the short form for Boolean. Okay, we can have a value of either true or false. So like integers have values like 1 2 3 4 5 6 up till like infinity, and in negative as well. Floats have values like 1.5 1.25 3.1427 such that Boolean has only two values. It can either be true or it can either be false. Okay, so Boolean algebra is the branch of algebra in which the values of variables are the truth values, true or false, like either 0 or 1. You can represent true and false as 1 and 0 respectively. That is something that you must have studied in your physics classes in 11th and 12th as well. So that is a very common knowledge, like you can represent true value as 1 and false value as 0. Okay, so Boolean algebra is the branch of algebra in which the values of the variables are truth values, that is true or false. Boolean algebra gives us the framework on which all electronic devices are built and exists fundamentally in every line of code inside a computer. So I think so most of you must know this, that the entire code, your computer, your mobile phones, your electronic devices are digital in nature. That is, they have their entire source code written in the binary form, which is called as the machine language. That is, it's a bunch of ones and zeros only, there's nothing else. When this gets compiled, when the compiler performs, like if you go into like compiler design and all those kind of stuff, be able to find that at the end of the day, the entire like computer, even though it's a calculator to your mobile phone to your smartwatch, everything is just zeros and ones. Okay, so that is the entire concept, that Boolean data type is something upon which you can understand that the entire stuff is actually built, the binary data structure is actually built. Okay, so in Python we can easily assign Boolean values like this. So if I want to create a variable name called as Python awesome, okay, and I want to assign true value to it, so I can just write Python awesome is equals to true. Okay, so it is as simple as that. So Python awesome is equals to true, and then documentation bad is equals to false. Now here what we did is we assigned the value true to the variable name called as Python awesome, whereas we assigned the value false to the documentation bad variable name. So this is as simple as that. There is nothing new in this. We are just having a value true or false, and we are assigning it to it a variable, just like what we did in integers and floats. Okay, we can use comparison operators to compare two values and produce booleans like this. Okay, so a is equals to 3 greater than 1. Is 3 greater than 1? Let us check. Yes, 3 is greater than 1. Hence, the value that it will return is true. Okay, this is called as a comparison operator. When you compare two values, if that is true, then you return true. If that is false, you return false. So if it was 1 greater than 3, so when we are running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that the value of a is true. But if it was 1 greater than 3, is 1 greater than 3? No, 1 is less than 3. Hence, 1 greater than 3 will return false. So the value of a will now be false. If I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that we are getting a false value. Okay, so as you see that the function of all these comparison operators are evident from their names itself. These are less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, or not equal to. So as you are able to see from this itself that these are the different comparison operators that you can have. We have already seen less than we have already seen greater than operation. This is called as a greater than operator. Okay, so we can have like less than operator, we can have greater than equal to operator. As you are able to see, this is the greater than equal to operator. Is the item on the left hand side greater than and equal to the operator on the right hand side or not? So that will be the question basically, and you just have to answer it true and false, and whatever the answer is, that is what is being fed to the variable itself. Okay, yesterday's attendance link has been closed. It was closed right now at 8:30 itself. For those who have missed the attendance link, guys, like you cannot just spend the entire 24 hours not for being able to fill up your attendance, so please look into it. Okay, yesterday's attendance will not be counted. Okay, that was just a trial thing so that you guys are able to understand how to fill up your attendance. From today, you have to fill up your attendance properly. From today, we'll be counting your attendance. So those who are not able to fill up your attendance yesterday, don't worry about it. We are not going to consider it at all. Okay, so that was just a testing thing so that you guys are able to understand how to fill up your attendance. From today onwards, attendance, if you are not filling it up on time, that I will be telling in the class itself. I can tell that only 1 hour is there to fill up the attendance form, and after that I will be closing it. So you have to be live in the class, otherwise you will just miss it out, and then there's no coming back from there. Okay, so don't worry about it. If someone has missed their attendance yesterday, we are not considering the attendance for yesterday itself. From today only we are going to consider the attendance. Okay, so moving further, Working with Boolean has its own set of operators called as logical operators. So early on we had seen arithmetic operators, that is plus, minus, multiplication, division, integral division, exponentiation, modulus. These are all called as arithmetic operators, in which the operations are being performed on integers or floats. Now when the operators are used in such a manner that they are used on these different Boolean data types itself, at that point of time these operators are called as logical operators, okay, because it is based on logic. Like if 0 and 1 is there, then the answer would be 0. If 1 and 1 is there, then the answer would be 1. So these are based on logic and hence called as logical operators, okay. Those people who will be missing any attendance from today onwards, they will not be able to get the certificate. I'm being very clear with it. We demand 100% attendance from today to the last day of the like entire program. If you're missing a single day of attendance, you will not be able to get the certificate. Of course, these videos are available on the net for free. You can always come back to them, learn from them, gain some insights, gain some knowledge from them. But for the certificates, if you are here, then yes, the attendance is like 100% attendance is necessary. The first day attendance, we are ignoring it because like I said, it was just a test. Now from today, attendance is compulsory, okay. Attendance I will be sharing at any point of time within the entire class, okay, so like that's up to me. Okay, so let's move forward. Working with Boolean has its own set of operators called as logical operators. These operators are very useful when working with Boolean and evaluates if both the sides are true or evaluates if at least one. So whatever this is. So you must have heard about OR gates, AND gates, XOR gates. These are all the different logical gates that you have studied in your electronics part in physics in your 11th and 12th itself. I hope that most of you are still in your 11th and 12th or in your graduate section itself. So most of you must have covered these AND or XOR gates. I hope that is like a thing. Like, can I know it in the live chat that whether you know or not about AND gates or gates, like these logical operators? Could you let me know in the entire the live chat basically? Just let me know in the live chat so that I'm able to understand that whether you guys know these logical gates or not. Otherwise, I will just teach it again as well. There's no problem with the same. Yeah, so people know about it. If there is someone who does not know, then I will just like put it up again. Okay, let's just refresh it once so that if one or two people do not know about it, then also there is no problem. Okay, just let's refresh it once again. Okay, so let's see how can we understand this entire concept. Okay, so basically let's take up the example of AND gate. Okay, let's just increase the size. Okay, AND gate. So if we are having 0 comma 0, okay, so 0 and 0, false and false will always be false. Okay, so just substitute it in the middle. Okay, just put it up in the middle itself. Let me rub it. Okay, just keep this entire thing in the middle and see if like 0 and 0 will always give you 0 itself. When we are having 1 and 0, it will give you 0 itself. Okay, it will give you 0 because 1 and 0. Okay, if you are having that is like treat 0 as false and 1 as true. So true and false will always give you false. If you are having false and true, it will give you false. If you are having true and true, it will give you true. So this is the function of AND gate. If you are having a not AND gate but OR gate, okay, let's take up this particular example. Instead of AND, we are having OR. Okay, so let's see that OR. Okay, so it will be OR. So false or false will always be false. True or false, either it is true or false, so it will always be true. Okay, if the left hand side is false and the right hand side is true, okay, and you are having or in the middle, then it will always be true. If you are having true or true, it will always be true. So this is the OR gate and the AND gate. A quick recap so that if someone does not know or someone is having any kind of problem, then you guys are able to understand that. Okay, so let's continue it from there. Let me just check up on Safari. Yeah, so let's us continue from here. So we have understood about the AND and OR gates that we will be using right over here, so that you are able to understand the entire structure. So rent is equals to 1200. Okay, is affordable is a variable that I've created to check if a particular house or a particular apartment is affordable for me or not. This is the question that I want to get answered. Is this particular house affordable for me or not? So I have a particular set of logical operations that I will be performing. So if the rent is greater than 1000, okay, and the rent is less than 2000, in that particular case, that house is affordable for me. That is, if the rent is in between 2000 to 1000, then that apartment is affordable for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do right over here is, rent is actually 1200, that we already know. So I will substitute rent by 1200 on both the sides. So it would be 1200, 1200. Now let's check the logical operators on both the sides of AND one by one. Is 1200 greater than 1000? Yes, 1200 is greater than 1000. So this will be replaced by true. Okay, 1200 is less than 2000. Is 1200 less than 2000? Yes, it is less than 2000. So it will also be replaced by true. Okay, once both the sides have been replaced by true, let's check what happens. So we are having and on the left hand side of AND we are having true, and on the right hand side of AND we are having true. So true and true will return true to us. Okay, as simple as that. True and true will return true to us, and hence is affordable will have the value true stored within it. Okay, so we'll get, when we are printing it out, we'll get is affordable, the value of if affordable is true. Okay, so let's just see what happens. I've just okay, so I've just like deleted it entirely, so I will have to write it once again, or else what I can do is I can just restart the entire page. So when you will be seeing that when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that is affordable will come out to be true right over here. So Collab is connecting to its server. It will take just 1 second. So rent is equals to 1200 is affordable, rent greater than 1000, rent less than 2000. Print is affordable, and we are getting true like we just discussed. Okay, as simple as that. We will check if the LHS is true or false. We will check if the RHS is true or false, and whatever the entire true or false value is, we will then put up the logical operator in between and check if the LHS and the RHS are true or not. If it is true, then we'll return true back to it. If one of them is true and one of them is false, or both of them are false, then as AND is present in between, we will return false to it. Okay, as simple as that. There's nothing else. I hope that you guys are able to understand up till this particular point of time. If you are having any doubts, any queries, I will repeat it. I will give a better example if that's the case. If you guys are not able to understand, please let me know. I will like return, like I will just take up a better example and then put it up again. Okay, you guys are able to understand. That's great. That's amazing. Okay, so next we'll check. Okay, here we checked if the rent of the house, so that we have already discussed. Okay, so what I'm doing right over here is affordable. Okay, so if the rent is greater than 1000 and the rent is less than 2000, okay, but I want to inverse answer. Okay, so if the rent is between 2000 and 1000, then it is not affordable for me. In that particular case, what I'm doing is I will just put up not in front of the entire same statement. So it is the exact same statement, as you are able to see from right over here. rent is greater than 1000, rent is less than 2000. You're able to see it's the same statement inside the curly brackets, nothing difference. The only thing right over here is the not statement. So when I'm running this particular line of code, instead of true, I'll be getting false as my output. So whatever is the output that is returned from within this particular bracket, that will be inverted. Okay, so instead of getting true as the output, now I'll be getting false as the output. Are you able to understand? Yeah, so I guess you will be able to understand from this, and there shouldn't be any problem with it. Okay, so moving further, let's see. This is a particular question. The output has already been provided, so you guys are able to understand it much more clearly. Now coming to the last data type, that is strings. Okay, so this is the last data type. Once it is completed, we'll be getting into data structures, and we'll be looking at the different data structures that we are having in Python. Okay, so let's get started with string itself. As a simple concept, string has another data type, like Python has another data type in its toolkit called as string. The name suggests that this data type deals with characters, words and text. So strings, basically that means like some kind of name or some kind of like a combination of different characters, whether it be special characters, whether it be letters, whether it be numbers. So that is called as a string. String is immutable ordered sequence of characters. So what does immutable ordered sequence of character means? We'll discuss about this moving further. Not right now, today only we are going to discuss about it. But if I'm telling you right now, you will get confused a lot, because we have not yet dealt with what strings are and how we can utilize them and all those kind of stuff. So wait for like 10 minutes I guess, and after that, once we have covered a little bit from strings, I'll be explaining to you guys that what exactly immutable ordered sequence of character means. Okay, for now let's just understand that it's just a collection of characters. For the next 5 minutes, understand that strings are a collection of different characters. Here characters means A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, or like capital smalls, then zeros to 9, and then special characters. So these are spaces. So these are characters. A collection of these characters form a string. Okay. You can create a string by using quotes, as you have seen here. You can use either single or double quotes. They both work well, but there are some cases while you might prefer one over the another, which we'll discuss below. Okay, so you can declare a particular string with both the like double quotes as well as the single quotes. If you're able to see from right over here. Okay, so guys, if there is a particular like you can if someone is asking like how to fill the attendance and all these kind of questions, then you can like help me out by just answering those questions. That will make it very easy for me. Okay, thank you Saksham for answering that, like it really helps me a lot. Okay, so yeah. There are a lot of people asking about the attendance. I guess like they didn't attended yesterday's session as well. I guess no problem in that. There are I always find people like these in my every boot camp, but I only love those students who are actually here to study, because that's why I'm here, to help you guys to study, not to give out attendance for free. Okay, so let's continue from right over here. So we'll be using double quotes as well as single quotes. So for double quotes, as you are able to see, both of these like declare the same string itself, shape AI, and nothing else. If I'm running this particular line of code, you'll be able to see that both of them provide me with shape AI itself. There's nothing else. Okay, there's no difference between both of them. I can declare the string using double quotes. I can declare the string using a single quote as well. Okay. Next, in this example, we printed the word shape AI using a single or double quotes and got the same output shape AI. We can also assign a string to a variable just like float and int. Okay, so as you are able to see from right over here, we are having a particular like a string from right over here. It can contain like anything. It can contain like spaces, it can contain special characters, it can contain some numbers. As you are able to see right over here, it can contain some numbers, it can contain some special characters, it can contain some spaces. There's no limit to what it can contain. Okay, the only thing is it should be in brackets itself, like it should be in inverted commas itself. We can assign a particular like string to a variable as well, just like the other data types. Okay, there's no difference whatsoever. If I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that whatever I typed inside the double quotes, I'm able to see on the screen itself. We can see like the data type of a particular variable. So the variable we have declared right over here, moto, is a string. When we are typing like type moto, then you will be able to see that the type of moto is str. That is the abbreviation for string itself. Okay, string can contain any characters, numbers, symbols, spaces within quotes. However, if we want to have quotes inside the string, we get an error. Okay, so for example, if I'm having a particular string, like we are initializing the string with double quotes, if I want to have another set of double quotes inside that string, then Python will throw an error to me. What happens actually is, when the Python is compiling the code, it starts to compile the code, it sees a like double quote, it will go up till and unless it sees another double quote, and only this highlighted portion is considered as one string. After that, according to Python, this is some gibberish that you have written, this highlighted part, and then again there is one starting quote and an ending quote. So an empty string has been declared right over here. So this is the problem. When I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that we are getting an syntax error, invalid syntax. So to handle, okay. No, Tinkrate is not for data visualization. For data visualization, we usually use matplotlib, or we use like some, like in the initial days I used pandas as well for visualization, but matplotlib and seaborn are the two best methods for data visualization itself. We will be looking at that, don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, if you have not registered but then also you are attending it, if you are filling up your attendance, you will be able to get the certificates. For those who are joining the other batches, so we are going to have a batch for linear regression, so machine learning, that is going to start from 21st April, and then a web development one as well, that is going to start from 21st April as well. Both of them will happen on the same day but on different times itself. So it will be like one from 6:30 to 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 10:30, something like that. So for that, you have to get yourself registered, you have to complete the final registration, you have to complete the attendance as well. We are putting up these barriers so that, like, see, giving out education for free, that is something that we are doing from our end, but we also want some kind of like help from you guys to spread the word around, because if this entire community is not growing, then there's no point of us trying to like give so much value to you people for free. So that is the thing that we consider as a payment from you guys in one way to help the community grow. That's all that we want. Okay, so let's so this is a problem that we have with Python. Okay, you cannot use like inverted commas inside of inverted commas. So Python provides two easy ways to handle this particular problem. Okay, instead of placing the entire string into double inverted commas and then using double inverted commas inside again, what you can do is use two different set of like quotes. Okay, so for example, if you want to use the double inverted comma inside, then initialize the entire string with a single inverted comma. Why I'm saying that, just understand what I told you earlier on, that Python when compiles, it starts with the first quote. So the first quote is a single inverted comma. So Python will consider every single character as a part of the string until and unless it like reaches another single inverted comma. Now you have used only double inverted commas inside the string, so Python starts from right over here, it sees a single inverted comma, so it starts that, okay, so now this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, this is also a string because it's not a single inverted comma, this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, and at the end it ends that, okay, at this particular point of time I have found the second single inverted comma and this is the entire string. So when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that no issues are there. But what if you wanted to use both double inverted commas as well as single inverted commas inside the string itself? So how to handle that particular problem? So in that particular case, we can use backlash, okay, to skip quotes, as you see in this particular example. The backlash helps Python to know that the string single quote using as interpreted as the part of the string rather than the quote at the end of the string. So let's try to understand what I'm trying to say from right over here. Backlash is something that is of a special importance to Python. Okay, so whenever Python endures a backlash, okay, a backslash, whenever it endures a backslash while compiling the code itself, it knows that the next string, the character just after the backlash itself, that is the single inverted comma, is needed to be ignored. Okay, it needs to be ignored. It should be considered as the part of that particular string itself. So there are many different forms. So for example, backlash n means that after that particular line you have to go to the next line. The cursor should go to the next line. If you're having backlash and then any character itself, then you're telling Python to just skip that particular character. There is no true importance to that particular character itself. So once it has started from, like, it is started from a single inverted comma, so it will be looking forward for a single inverted comma to consider that that particular entire piece of code is a string. So it will go on, and it endures a backlash. So when it endures a backlash, it will tell Python that, okay bro, you have to stop right over here. You do not have to consider the next character. Okay, just skip that next character, consider that inside the string itself and move further. So what will Python do is, okay, you want me to ignore the next character. Okay, I have ignored the next character. I will keep on searching for the single inverted comma. Moving further, it finds the single inverted comma and it stops. This is the end of that particular string. Now the backlash, please remember that it does not get printed. Okay, so the backlash itself is not getting printed. It is not the part of the string. It is a special character having special importance to Python, and hence it just ignores the next particular string itself. So when I'm printing this out, you'll be able to see that Shiva, your bag is red, as you are able to see. So we are having a double inverted commas as well. We are having the single inverted commas, and there is no backlash in the entire string. Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to understand this and there is no problem with it. C language is one of the hardest language. Okay, so macros, there are like different type of stuff that you have to understand, like header files and all these kind of stuff. So, and one more thing, C is never asked in any kind of interview until unless you are getting a very shitty job, then that's totally up to you. But in a good interview, I have given so many interviews from top MNCs, and I'm currently working in one. I take interviews. Okay, so I can personally tell you that nobody is going to ask you questions related to C until unless you're getting a package of like 3 lakhs, then like God help you. So if you are going to get a good job, then questions related to C++, Java, like either C++ or Java, they will be giving you the option that choose one of the languages. And in development, if you are going with web development, it will be a little bit of JavaScript, and if you are going with like machine learning, deep learning, it will be more on Python itself. So for those who will be thinking, yes, I know C and I will be easily cracking a job at the top MNC, like, you are sadly mistaken, man. Like, you are mistaken a lot. Okay, so I hope that you are able to understand this. C is fundamental, but it's not important. Like, you can even skip C, man. Directly start with C++. I even did C++ directly. Like, of course, like I knew a bit of C as well, but my foundations for C++ and OOPS were very strong. So that is something that you need to understand right now. Okay, yeah, so let's move further, and then we will get started. So Oracle Gaming is saying C is fundamental. Okay, so C is fundamental according to him. Not fundamental, fundamental. So that is up to him. But yeah, fundamental things are really important. Like, without learning ABCD, you cannot like start reading Shakespeare. So that is of course true. But to get a job, no, it's not important. Because I'm working at a particular company, I can tell you from the personal experience, I'm taking up interviews and everything. So I can really tell you guys that it's not that important. Please focus on your C++ or JavaScript. Choose one of the languages. You can even choose Python as well for the entire stuff, but I will still suggest to keep your game in either C++ or JavaScript a bit strong. And in development, Python or Java, C++ and Java, okay, choose one of them, and then from Python and JavaScript, choose one of them. I will personally suggest Python. JavaScript is a pretty hard language for most of the people out there, but still, like, that's totally up to you. Okay, so let's move further. Usually in like, as data analyst usually earns, like, I cannot disclose my salary, but I will just tell you guys that in India a data analyst usually earns between 12 lakh, and so that's CTC. I'm not talking about, no, I'm talking about in hand, not CTC. CTC is about like 18 to 24 lakhs, and in hand we usually get like 12 to 16 lakhs an annum as like a beginner, like as a fresher from a college. So that's the entire compensation that is usually being given to us. And an SDE usually has a CTC around like 18 lakhs, like around 18 to 20 lakhs itself. So that's the entire thing. Okay, so let's move forward. Like, we do not want to waste any time. Like, that was some quick FAQs for you. Okay, there are few operators that we can use on floats and ints, and we can also use them on strings as well. So for example, we can use the plus symbol to concatenate two strings together. So for example, if I want to like write hello world, I have having two variables, two strings, I want to attach them one after the another. So I can use the plus symbol to do that. So hello and world will combine together to form a single word, that is hello world, and there will be no spaces in between them, because as you are able to see, hello is a complete word, there is no space, then world is a complete word, there is no space. So when we are combining them, when we are attaching them, then it would be a single word called as hello world. Okay, but if we want a space in between them, we can even append that. So it will be hello, we will be appending space to it, and then we'll be appending word to the entire thing. So if I'm printing it out, you will be able to see that hello world and hello space world is being created. So we can use the plus operator to concatenate two different strings as well. Okay, moving further, here is the example. We can see that using the plus arithmetic operator, we get hello world written together, but this word that is printed out has no meaning. Okay, we need to have a space in between them, so we are adding a particular space in between this. So of course, hello world as a particular word, it does not has any meaning, but hello space world has a meaning associated with it. Okay, so that's the entire thing that it is trying to say right over here. So this notebook has been created personally by me. So taking the like, how can I say, the advantage of the situation, just to broadcast that this is good English. There may be some places where I may have misspelled it. I had to create it like very fast, but still, like, I am proud of the notes, I guess. You guys can refer to the notes so as to understand like the topics much more clearly. Everything being implemented in the entire notebook and everything, you can utilize it for your own purposes as well. Please do not commercially use it. Please do not try to sell it. Okay, it's available for free on the net. Okay, so you can of course refer it to your friends as well if they want to revise on a particular topic or something like that, but it's not for selling. Okay, so another arithmetic operator that you can use on strings is the multiplication operator. Okay, so for example, if I'm writing word, okay, I'm having a particular variable called as word, and I'm assigning hello to it. Okay, so hello is being assigned to that particular variable word. Okay, so if I'm doing word star 5, okay, if I'm doing word multiplied by 5, can someone tell me in the live chat what will happen? Okay, do not run the code, try to just like guess what will happen if I'm running this particular line of code. Okay, okay, can someone tell me? 5 times. Can someone tell me? Can someone tell me? Hello 5 times. That's right, Priyanshu. That's absolutely correct. Priyanshu, Vikas, Killer Boy. Oh my god. So no problem in that. So what is happening right over here is hello will be appended one after the another 5 times. Okay, so it will be hello, 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 hello 5 times. When I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that I'm printing hello 5 times one after the another. Okay, so basically what it is trying to say to you is you are writing word plus word plus word plus word plus word 5 times. Okay, that is what it is denoting right over here. Now you need to understand that you cannot use operators like division or subtraction on strings. If you're trying to do division on strings, it will give you an error, okay, that unsupported operand types for division, that is division does not support these type of operands, that is string and string. You cannot perform minus, that is subtraction, on these data types. You cannot perform subtraction on strings. Again, you will get unsupported operand types for minus, that is like subtraction, that is strings and strings. Okay, so the errors are very clear. You will be able to understand that if you are able, you are doing some kind of error or something like that. Okay, a useful built-in function for strings data type. So strings have a very useful built-in function from them, that is called as the len function. That stands for length, that is how many characters does that particular string has. That is what length of a particular string means. How many characters does that particular string has. Okay, so it returns the length of the object, or length of the string itself. Okay, so as simple as that, it will just take in the string within the parenthesis, and then it will produce the length. Okay, that's it. Like you write len, then in parenthesis you put up the string. You can put up the string, you can put up the variable name of that particular string, anything. Okay, that is what I'm trying to explain right over here. When you are printing it out, you will be able to see 7 being printed out. That is SHAPEAI has 7 characters within it. If I'm having a particular space in between, now the count would be 8. Okay, now the count would be 8, and I'm having the length of characters as 8. I am able to, like, for those who are like, I'm having, okay, sorry. So I will just be removing this, Control X, Command X actually, and then I'm putting a, and I'm declaring a variable right over here. A is equals to this particular string shape AI. So when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that the variable a has a length of 8 because it is storing string shape AI, shape space AI within it. Okay, so this is as simple as that, nothing else, extremely simple. There will be no issues with this. Okay, so I hope that everyone is clear up till this particular point of time. If there is any problem, anything else, please let me know, and we will help you out. Okay, screen not visible, man. I'm able to see the screen absolutely perfectly on my laptop. That's why I'm just like keeping my screen open at all the time as well. Your website is not working. How is that even possible? Let me just see shapeai.tech. Yeah, the website is always working, man. There's no problem with the website, as well as you are able to see the upcoming events and everything is available right with us. Okay, so the website is also working. Do not worry about it. Okay, skipping the questions, just look at the questions. They are very easy. Like I've taken the most basic questions just so that you are able to understand it. Okay. So we yeah, so let's follow from right over here. Type and type conversion revision. Okay, so just like we have already dealt with type, okay, and we have already dealt with type conversion, how to create like int to float and float to int, type of float, type of string, type of bool. We've already done that, but just for revision, let's see what we have covered up till this particular point of time. We have covered integers, we have covered floats, we have covered strings, we have covered bool. The same number, that is 75, can be written as an integer, 75, can be written as a float, 75.0, can be written as a string, in quotes, 75, and then true is the boolean value. So you can even have true or false. You cannot have like 75 as the value, because in boolean you have only 2 values that we have already discussed. So okay, so let's look at the code example. We can see that even though the first 3 values appear to be same, they can be encoded into different data types with their own set of functions and operations, which we can use to like manipulate them. We have already discussed this. This is to note that we have called the function print on various function type to output the return value of the function type. So this function type returns class int to us, but we want to see it as an output as well. Hence we are putting this print statement so that whatever the output we are getting from type 75, we are able to see it on our screens. Hence we have used print right over here. Okay, For example, here we have so again, like converting one data type to from another data type. So here we'll be converting integer 3 to float. Okay, so decimal, we have created a variable decimal. So once we have done this particular line of code, this is very easy, we have already discussed about it. So 3 got converted into full float, that is 3.0, and the type of decimal that is this particular variable is, right now as you are able to see, class is float. We have converted an int to float. Okay, in this particular example, what we are going to do is we are going to create a particular line. Okay, we will create an string from an integer. So what happens is you cannot add a string to an integer. Okay, you need to understand that two objects should be of the same data type. Okay, for example, a dog cannot have a child with a cat. Okay, a dog can only have a child with another dog itself. In the similar way, data types also work in the same fashion, that a string is compatible with a string itself, an integer is compatible with sometimes an int and a float, because they are of the same family. Okay, so let's see right over here. I want to print that I scored this much marks in this particular subject during this semester. Okay, so let's see what we can do. So we are having a particular variable subject. Okay, I know which subject that I'm going to use. I'm having a variable semester. Okay, it's a semester. Marks is an integer. Marks is not a string. I cannot append, like if I'm trying to do this right over here, if I'm writing str marks, okay, and I'm running this particular line of code, it will show me an error that you can only concatenate string and not int to string. Okay, because marks, as you are able to see, marks is an integer. I cannot concatenate an integer to a string. So first I will have to convert this integer to a string. So for that I will put up brackets and I will put up str in front of it. This converts marks to a string, that is, now it will be inverted comma 15. Okay, that is what I'm trying to explain right over here. When I'm running this particular line of code right now, I'll be able to see that I have scored 15 in coding during my first semester. Okay, so subject is being replaced by coding, semester is being replaced by first, and marks is being replaced by 15, which is then being converted into string and then appended to I scored. This is the process that you will have to follow when you are appending a string with an int or a string with a float. Okay, so I guess this is something that you will be able to understand from right over here. If you're not able to understand, please let me know. I guess this should be like very easy for you to understand. I hope that this is very easy for you to understand. Great. So we can even convert like an string. For example, in like double inverted commas, I'm having 15. I can convert that to an integer as well, or a float as well. For here I have converted 15, this particular string, to a float. If I'm able to run this particular line of code, you are able to see that 15 was initially an string and now 15 is a float. Marks is a float. As simple as that. Very easy. There will be no problem with this. Okay, please explain again. No problem in that. Again, I'm explaining. So for example, if I'm having, I will just take a smaller example. Instead of taking a huge example, let's take up a smaller example. I'm having r is equals to some random characters plus 4. Okay, so I'm trying to append 4. I want to, like, the final result should be, okay, this should be the final result. Okay, 4. I want this printed out as my output. Okay, this should be the output on my screen. Okay, so this is my final target. So what I will be doing right over here is, this is just a comment, don't worry about it. Okay, so r is equals to this particular string plus an integer. When I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that we are getting an error that we cannot add an int to a string. We cannot add an int directly to a string. So for that, what I will be have to do is, I will have to convert this 4 to this particular string itself, and then when I'm running this particular line of code, it will work absolutely fine, and I will have to print it. Okay, so I will just print r. And when you are able to see it, you will be able to see that the same result that we wanted right over here, we're able to see it in the output. Now to convert 4 as an integer to a string, we'll use the same technique that we used for converting an int to a float or float to an int. That is, I will be putting it up in parentheses and putting str, the data type I want this particular 4 to get converted into. So when I'm running this particular line of code, I will be getting no errors, and you'll be able to see that the same output that we wanted is getting printed on my screen. So this is very easy. There will be no problem with this, and you will be able to understand this as well. Okay, so are you guys able to understand this? Okay, that's great. I hope that everyone is able to understand. That's amazing. Okay, now we'll get started right away with the next thing. I'm from India. Okay, no problem with that. But like, I consider everyone to be my brother and sister, so you don't ever have to worry about it. Okay, so some questions again, just look into it. Now we'll be coming into the string method. So we have already seen methods like len, we have seen methods like type, that gives us the type of that particular string or that particular object. We have seen methods like print, hello world, and all these kind of stuff. So these 3 above are functions. You notice that use the parentheses except 1 or more arguments. Functions will be studied in much more detail in a later session. So this is not for you. You will not be studying functions because you guys will be focused much more on the project itself, and there is little to no use of functions in that. But if you guys continue with Shape AI, there will be like we'll be having a lot of different stuff from right over there. So a method in a Python behaves similarly to a function. Methods are actually functions that are called using dot notation. Okay, so for example, like my string dot, like capitalize, case fold, center, count, encode, ends with, these are all the different kinds of methods that are available for a particular string. Okay, so methods are specific to a data type of a particular variable. So each data type has its own associated methods with it. Okay, so for int there will be different kinds of methods, for floats there will be different kinds of methods, for string there will be different kinds of method. There are some inbuilt methods that are available for all the strings. Different methods are available for integers and floats that I've already explained. Okay, so we'll be looking at some of the very common methods that we are able to use on strings so that you get familiar with it. But there are, like I said, there are a lot of different methods that can be used. Each of these methods accept the string itself as the first argument of the method. However, they could also receive additional arguments that are passed inside parentheses, just like functions. So even functions have some arguments that are passed inside of them. For example, in type, then you are having an object present inside of it. That is called as an argument. Okay, so similarly, right over here as well, in methods, you'll be having you can have an argument present inside a method. Let's look at this. We are having a particular string. My string is equals to shape AI. Okay, shape AI is lower. Okay, so you will be able to see from right over here, it will tell you whether shape AI has all the characters in lowercase or not. Okay, so shape AI does not has all the characters in lowercase, and hence it will return false to you. Okay, so another method on string is my string, that is the variable name, dot count a. How many number of characters small a are present inside of shape AI? There is just one occurrence of small a inside shape AI, and hence this particular line of code returns 1 to us. My string dot find a. Okay, find a returns the position of a inside shape AI. Now shape AI, like Python, is a 0th index like language, hence it starts counting from 0 itself. So the index of S is 0, the index of H is 1, the index of A is 2, the index of P is 3, the index of E is 4, the index of capital A is 5, and the index of the capital I is 6. So Python is a 0th index language, and then it starts counting with 0. So S has an index of 0. So A has an index of 2. So my string dot find a will return the index position of a, small a, that is true. Okay, so these are some of the common methods. Okay, we can see that count and find methods both take another arguments. Okay, we both of them take some argument, that is some data inside of it, whereas is lower does not take any data. Okay, so it does not take any argument inside of it. So no professional has memorized like all the methods memorized. Even I don't remember all the methods. Okay, so this is why understanding how to use documentations and finding answers is very important. It is very important to learn how to use documentations while coding. Okay, use documentation while coding, especially when you are doing some kind of like projects, like you're making some projects. Then reading documentation, understanding how to read reference documentation, how to Google different answers is also something that is of a huge benefit to the programmers as well. So please try to like gain a strong grasp of foundations of programming, which will use you'll use the foundations to like help you build the entire different things. So you do not have to memorize all of them. As you are building new and new projects, you are using the language more and more often, you will be able to remember some of the most important like methods and functions that are inbuilt in Python itself. Okay, explain again. Okay, so I will just explain again, no problem in that. So please understand that every data type has its own associated some common. So sometimes you just need to know that how many a are present, or how many number of particular characters are present in a particular string. So these are mundane tasks that are present. Okay, this you have to do again and again. So you shouldn't have to implement every single thing from scratch. So some methods have been made. So these are kind of features. Okay, these are kind of features for a particular product. Okay, so these are extra features that you have so that you are able to use that particular product in a much more efficient manner. So you can understand methods at that particular way for different like data types. Here we have discussed it for strings. There will be different methods for different data types itself. For strings, there are these different data types that are available on your screen. From that, we have discussed 3 different methods on strings. Okay, so dot is lower will tell you if the string, that is my string, that is shape AI, is having all its characters in lowercase or not. If it, as you are able to see, shape AI does not has all its character in lower cases, so it will return false to me. Okay, similarly my string dot count a. Okay, here what I'm saying to Python is count the number of occurrences of a in my string. Okay, so as you are able to see, a occurs only once in my string, hence the value 1 has been returned to me. Okay, my string dot find a. Okay, this is another method to find the index if it occurs inside that particular string. So if I want to find the index of a, you will be able to see that the index of a is 2, because Python is a 0th index language. So S has an index of 0, H has an index of 1, and A will have an index of 2. So Python starts counting from 0, hence 2 is being returned to me. This is the basics of methods that you need to know. Okay, so one more important string method is format. This is a particular this is very important for you when you are looking forward from the point of data science, because in data science you have to print a lot of different things again and again and again. The accuracy of the model, how well is the model performing, what is the loss at any point of time, what is the VGG, and all these kind of stuff you have to print again and again when you are creating like AI or ML models. So for that, a very easy way to do that is using the method format. Okay, format is a method built for strings itself, and that is what we will be using right over here. For those who are on the WhatsApp group itself, they actually know from which company I am working from. So like that you guys already know, so someone can answer that. Okay, so one important string method is format. We'll be using format string method a good bit in our future work in Python as well as in data science, and you'll find it very valuable in your coding, especially in your print statements. We can best illustrate how to use the format method by looking at some of the examples. Okay, so these are some of the examples that we are having. So what this format does is basically it is having a string in front of it and then dot format and then value within it, like that is the entire the entire way, the syntax of writing the method format. Okay, so what it actually does, it whatever value is present within the parenthesis, whatever attributes that you have provided to format, it will replace all those values inside the string whenever it finds and curly brackets. So for example, right over here, this curly brackets will get replaced by 27 because we have provided 27 as the argument. Okay, so what does format does, it replaces the value present right over here. So instead of writing like has plus and then like putting it up right over here and then putting plus and then putting 27 and then putting plus and then putting it all inside a particular inverted commas, instead of doing that, you can directly use the original method. So early on, what you were doing is you would have to write something like this, then you will have to convert it into strings, so it will be str, and only then you will be able to run this particular line of code. So instead of doing all that to handle, like you do not want to handle all the conversions and everything, the best way to do this is using format. Okay, so in format, one of the best things is you do not even have to handle the conversions. It is done by the method format itself. It will convert whatever is present inside the parenthesis into string and replace these like parentheses with 27. If I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that Muhammad has 27 balloons. So format basically replaces the curly brackets with the values present inside the parenthesis. Does your parenthesis like your curly brackets and then again curly brackets question mark dot format animal action. Animal has a value of dog. Right over here we have assigned dog to animal. Action has a value of bite, okay, that we have already assigned to action. So here what format will do is animal will be replacing the first curly bracket and action will be replacing the second curly bracket. So it comes in order itself. The first curly bracket will be replaced by the first variable, that is the first attribute, that is the animal, and the second curly bracket will be replaced by the second attribute, that is action. So you will be getting does your dog bite, okay, because animal is dog and action is bite. You can even have, so like this is very understandable, like this is nothing new, that you can have a particular variable instead of that particular string itself, because that variable just denotes the string. So variable dot format math comma statistics. So math will be replacing the first curly bracket and statistics will be replacing the second curly brackets. So you will be getting the answer as Maria loves math and statistics. Very easy to understand. This is very important, guys. Please try to understand this. Okay, so I hope that everyone is able to understand this and there's no problem with it. Yeah, you can understand it as a placeholder as well. Not entirely true, but yeah, you can understand it in that particular way itself. Okay, Ashwarya Rajput, this is the notes that I'm currently using. As you are able to see, this is the notes. It is in the description of this particular video itself. Okay. Okay, so we have covered the entire data types. Now data structures are left. Do you guys want to continue today itself, because we have just like covered only 1 hour? Like it's totally up to you. We can cover it today as well. We can start from tomorrow itself. Like that is totally up to you. Like what do you guys suggest? Because I'm like totally hyped up because I've just taken up 1 glass of coffee and I'm ready to teach. Okay, so continue it from tomorrow. There's no 5-minute break, because like of course if I'm giving 5-minute breaks, then like everyone will go. So we can continue right over here as well, or we can continue it from tomorrow as well. Okay, no problem in that. We'll continue it from tomorrow. I have no problem. We'll be continuing, like we will be covering the entire data types and operators tomorrow. That won't, like we'll be covering almost everything tomorrow itself, and then we'll be moving on to the next topics. I have no problem with the same. I can understand that most of you spend the entire day in college and then come back. On Saturday and Sunday I'm planning to have 2 lessons. What do you guys suggest? Like, instead of having just 1 lesson, I'll be having 2 lessons on Saturday and Sunday, in the morning and in the evening, or even on Sunday we can have one in the morning and one in the evening. Okay, so that we are able to complete everything. Like, I want to give as much as possible to you guys, so like we can do that. What do you guys suggest? Please let me know. I'm thinking about Saturday and Sunday, like 2 classes each day, so that we are able to cover a lot more. What do you guys suggest? Okay, great. So we will be having 2 classes on Saturday and Sunday, or just on Sunday. Like, I don't know. Like, I will just take up some advice from you guys as well. Okay. So let's have the attendance for today. This is the attendance link. Take a screenshot, fill up the attendance. The attendance link will be open up till tomorrow morning 2 p.m. itself. Okay. So you guys can easily fill up the attendance while moving further. You can just take up a screenshot right over here. Okay, so that's it. And guys, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It really helps boost our it helps us to keep us motivated as well, to see that so many people are supporting this cause that we are trying to accomplish. So please do subscribe to the channel, like the particular video as well. That really helps us a lot. Like, I cannot just express myself how much it really helps us. So please do that. Like, we really appreciate that that you are able to give a little bit of time to just join the community, to help the community out as well. I'm so thankful to you guys to being here. So please do like as well as subscribe to the channel. That really helps us a lot. We'll continue it from tomorrow as well. Okay, do not worry about it. We will be covering a lot. The project will also be very good. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so the link is open right now. You don't have to worry about it. I've opened the link, so you can start filling the attendance as well right now. Okay, so attendance has also started coming in. People have started pushing up their attendance. As you are able to see, we have got 2 operators from right over here. Okay, so do like the video, guys. Like, I'm able to see like 2,400 people with just like 1.2k likes. So please do like the video, and we'll meet tomorrow. The link is now open. As you are able to see, people have started putting up their attendance as well. And we'll meet tomorrow. We will be discussing about much more in detail, and then we'll be moving further with it. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I really appreciate that. I hope that I was able to provide some value to you. Thank you so much, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, and we'll continue it from there. Thank you, and have a good night ahead, I guess. Okay, and please do like the video. Thank you so much.